Hey guys, Timmy7 here, and welcome to HRL Season 5, Round 3, Fox Lake. We're going to have Detail, Hunter Unit, Vulcan, Luke, Roman, and Slaunch. That's from left to right in the back gate. Remember, this is Moto 2 for this event. If you didn't see Moto 1, go back on the YouTube channel, go check it out. It was a pretty good one, to be honest. Front row, we're going to have Bean, Camby, Ricardo, Justice, Unquiet, and Sector. Should be a really fun second Moto. Again, if you did not watch that first one, please go back and watch it. It was insanity. Probably one of the most chaotic SX races we've had in a while, but hopefully we'll have another one of those right here. And here we go, green flag. Honestly, it looks like Ricardo had the best start, but I think Camby might have ended up with the whole shot. A lot of drivers going down, very typical. This is just like it was last Moto. Absolute typical SX start right there. That's how it looks every time. Sorry if I sound a little like unresponsive, but I'm just getting used to that. That's always how it looks in these SX starts. Getting singled out a little bit quicker than last Moto. I'm honestly surprised. I think we're going to see a couple battles brewing up here. Yep, there we go. Hunter trying to slam cheese whoever that was. I think that might have been Ricardo. Hunter like literally pole vaulted him right there and got on top of him. I don't know how he did that. And then he comes back, runs the inside. A lot of drivers going down in that last rhythm section. Probably the trickiest rhythm section in the track. I think you'll see the most drivers go down in that rhythm section compared to any of the other ones. The first one's a little tricky too, but I think after the start it's not as bad, whereas that last one is cheesy the whole way through. Good battles in the back there. We have Luke and Vulcan, who both finished top 5. Watched them battle with Hunter a lot in the last Moto. They're both stuck way in the back, so going to be interesting to see if we can see both those drivers catch back up or stay in the back. Justice holding on to a top spot for quite a while, but it looks like he's going to lose it. Hunter, man, doing a good job. I mean, he qualified top 5. He's clearly had some speed going into qualifying. I'm going to be honest, if I recall correctly, his warm-up races were decent. I think the semi wasn't too good for him, but I think his heat race was decent. And then his first Moto performance, could have got a top 5, but gets a 6th place. That's respectable for him. If he can pull out a top 5 now in the second Moto, maybe pull off a top 5 overall, that'll be big for Hunter. I mean, he needs top 5s, especially after last season. I don't know if you guys recall last season when I was doing the recaps. Those recaps will come back soon, by the way. But Hunter last season had a really good points position. He was even in 2nd place at points with like a couple rounds to go. And then once we got to the end, once mulligans started coming into play, Hunter lost so many positions. It was ridiculous. He went down to finishing. I don't remember the exact spot off the top of my head, but I know it was like 7th or 8th in overall points. So that's just crazy. So with that, looking at last season, I think that shows that Hunter definitely needs all the points he can get. He cannot rely on having good points at the end of the season, because once those mulligans come in, it may go away. His position that appears to be good might just completely shatter when the mulligans start to come into play. By the way, haven't mentioned it yet, Bean05 is in the lead right now, and this is actually ridiculous. He's held on to it for quite a bit. Remember, he had such an unfortunate first Moto, and here he is recovering perfectly. And this sometimes is what you got to do. If you're a good driver and you have an unfortunate first Moto, you got to just come out here and rail that second Moto. You might come out with a Moto win, which is great. Winning a Moto is always great. So it kind of, it's kind of like cutting your losses. You're going to get a lot of points back from doing something like that. And obviously finishing across the line at first, always a great feeling as a racer. Getting another Moto win, always great. You always want to have the most Moto wins in the season. But it kind of just helps you recuperate if you have a bad first Moto to come out and win or get a top 3 in the second one. It tends to help you out in the points too. Historically, drivers that have gotten a bad first Moto finish have came back, gotten a really good second Moto, and gained a ton of points. I mean, look at Hunter actually from Belfast. He did exactly that. Had a horrible not a horrible, but I think it was like an 8th place, 7th place first Moto, so not great. Then comes out and wins the second Moto, finishes like tied for that second overall spot. So it can happen. A lot of good battles going on throughout the track. Wow, it's honestly hard to follow them all. We got Camby and Roman right there. There's Hunter in front of Slaunch still. Is that Bean right there? I think that's Bean right there. So that's your top 5. Hunter rounding out the top 5 right now. Or, sorry, Slaunch rounding out the top 5. Oh, getting a little loose there is Roman and Camby. They hold on to it though, and then we have outside of the top 5. It's getting intense too. That 6th through 10th spot right there, those drivers are duking it out. Look at Detail trying to take over Ricardo. We got Justice following him up, Luke following him up, and Sector. Where is Vulcan, man? There's Vulcan. Okay, wow, Vulcan must have a really rough start, which is very unfortunate because he had a great first moto, but and I think this is Vulcan's problem a lot of the time. You know, he can string together one good moto, but then he cannot, like, something always happens in the other one. The booming example that just comes out into my mind right there has got to be Chili Cove last season. Gets a solid podium finish in the first moto, and then finishes, what, last in the second one? Or pretty dang near last? I mean, Vulcan just needs to get a good overall finish. And when he can tie 2 motos together, he does very well. I'm thinking about East Bay in the wild card last season. He did a great job there. I think, off the top of my head, I think getting a 3rd and a 4th. And that's just, you know, solid 2 motos led Vulcan to his first top 3 overall. That's all he needs. He'll get one good moto. He just needs to string 2 good ones together. And you see Detail right there waiting for Ricardo to rejoin. That's basically, you know, with where he wrecked, that was a very weird situation. That's basically the best place he could rejoin, so nothing wrong with that. Luke and Detail both going to pass Ricardo, though, with Ricardo making a mistake. Watch out, Justice. Oh, no, Justice and Vulcan going to get involved. But it looks like Vulcan might be able to overtake Ricardo now. Nope. Okay, yeah, but then Ricardo screws up right after. That's 5 minutes left. Vulcan going to get an extra point right there. Oh, might have been an extra 2 points. I think he's behind Justice as well, so that's big passes right there out of Vulcan. Definitely trying to recover some of these points. Meanwhile, Slaunch has gotten by Hunter for 4th place. Roman still holding on to podium. That's probably the overall battle there between Roman and Slaunch. I don't think anyone else at this point can really compete for it unless there's just some crazy comebacks. Detail flipping over right there. That was pretty cheesy. Now he's going to be in a battle with Vulcan. Luke's able to get by Detail there. Still on the outside of the top 5 looking in. And the top 5 is grouped very closely together. I mean, if you look at these groups, they're pretty even, these gaps between the drivers. All right, Bean's honestly doing a great job so far. Like, he's not really getting away from this pack, but he's maintaining the same gap, and he is just clocking out laps right here. We got Camby as well in second, so that's a really good job for both of those drivers. It would be insane to see Camby if he can hold on to a podium. If we could see Bean and Camby hold on to a podium on a Supercross, that'd be crazy for those guys. Kind of funny too, because, you know, mentioning their names together, Bean and Camby were 2 names that were brought up together a ton last season. They were always duking it out with each other in the points, and this season it's looking to be similar, but at the same time it's also looking much improved. Bean and Camby are having way better Season 5 than Season 4. Both these guys are looking a lot stronger. It looks like they've been hitting the training sessions, and they're definitely looking a lot stronger. Although Roman is definitely making gains, he is right there behind Camby. Camby makes a mistake, has to roll that last jump, and Roman just a smooth pass right there, going to go into second place. Very good positioning for Roman as well. If he wants to get this overall, he's definitely going to have to hunt down that win. But he's setting himself up for it. We got 3 minutes to go. Decent gap away from Bean. Like, that's plenty of time. Plenty of time remaining. Oh, good battle right there. I saw Justice on the lower half of the screen. It looks like it's getting close for second place. Roman, Camby, and Slaunch all over each other. And that is just getting really tight. And that's going to help out Bean. You can see Bean definitely gained a little bit of time off of that. And, you know, Bean, if he could be watching the eyes, with eyes in the back of his head, he would absolutely be enjoying what's going on behind him right now. Slaunch is definitely going to have the better line. Is he going to be able to overtake Camby? Definitely not. Camby's going to hold on to that position. Great battle going on for these podium spots. We have Hunter, and Luke's caught up to Hunter, so we might see a top 5 battle as well brewing up very soon. It looked like they were very close to each other, so possibly Luke making some gains, Hunter making some mistakes. Hunter definitely had to have made at least one mistake because he was really close to these guys over there, but then he's sort of dropped off a little bit. So Detail and Vulcan still having a battle as well. Battle's starting to settle out a little bit. Not as much crazy gains happening now at this point in the race. Camby with some massive gains though on the outside He's going to try to run it back to the rut, but not able to get the run. Slaunch is going to overtake 3rd place. And Luke's going to overtake Hunter for 4th place. Or, sorry, for 5th place. So that's going to put Hunter in 6th, which is actually where he finished in Moto 1. So if Hunter stays there, that's very consistent. Very consistent. Oh, Hunter. Yeah, he must have made mistakes before, too, because that one right there, that was pretty rough. He lost about he's about a section behind Luke now because of that mistake. Very unfortunate. Camby, though, I gotta shout out Camby. He has not lost that much time from Slaunch. He's still battling side by side with Slaunch. On the outside, Camby might be able to retake this position. Looks like Slaunch is going to have the run on the rut, but wow, that's impressive. Camby is actually very fast. Like, he's honestly running some good laps here. Maybe just, rough start in the first moto, but the second moto, man, he's doing a great job. Roman and Bean cheesing each other. That's going to help out Slaunch and Camby a ton, and definitely not what Bean wanted to see. Bean he has never gotten a Halo 5 win in HRL. He does have wins in HRL history. He has 3 moto wins on MCC, which is huge. Having moto wins, he got his overall on MCC as well. Those are very big for him. But in Halo 5, he does not have a moto win yet, putting him in the same category as drivers like Vulcan's really the first one that pops into my mind. I guess if you want to look at some other drivers in this field, you could say Sector and Justice. Can't say Roman anymore. You used to be able to, can't now. But yeah, in this field, I mean, those are the only people that, now that I'm thinking about it, the Vulcan, Justice, Sector, those are like the only guys. Obviously Ricardo and Unquiet, but they're new, so that makes sense. Those are the only like veterans that pop out in my head. So you can tell Bean is definitely long overdue for a moto win, and he wants it, and time is running low. We are getting close to the end here, and it's going to start getting hot. I can just tell. You see this, how close this gap is. Roman's very close to Bean. Slaunch is very close to Roman. Camby's not that far behind Slaunch, and Luke's been trying to make the comeback in 5th and slowly gaining on this this huge pack right here. And it looks like some lap driver cheese is going to slow it up, and this is going to tighten up the pack a little bit. Slaunch was able to pass Roman because of that, but then he's going to cheese the rhythm section. He's going to lose that position right back. Camby's going to go right back to his spot. 2 laps to go. Not that much time left. This is looking to be just as great of a finish, just like Moto 1. Fox Lake here brewing up crazy last lap battles. Going through the whoops. Bean with a solid gap. If he can hold on to it, he's looking like a nice prospect to take this race win. I think he's led every lap so far. He's just got to hold on to it. Camby still, man, Slaunch could be making some gains right now, but Camby has been on him this whole time, and if he gets aggressive, he's going to have to worry about him as well. So very interesting seeing Camby having, like I said, tons of speed here on the Supercross. And here we go, Bean, no! He gets stuck on Roman. Bean goes down on the final lap. Unfortunate. He's going to lose that position to Camby, Slaunch, and Roman, but then Camby goes down. Bean's cheesing. Luke's there now to possibly battle for top 3. Bean back into 3rd place, trying to hold on to a podium at least. Luke and Camby going all over each other. Slaunch and Roman very close for 1st and 2nd. We have some crazy battles going on all over the track right now. We're going to try to watch both of them because it's getting very intense. And it looks like Luke might have Camby passed. Meanwhile, Slaunch, he's going to take out Roman. And we're going to have to see what the race officials have to say about that afterwards. And they're going to cross the line. So we'll see what pops up on the results. Bean holding on to 3rd. That's a heartbreaker, man. That is a heartbreaker. All he had to do was hit that final rhythm clean. And he would have held on to that lead. He would have had the win probably. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. That's definitely a heartbreaker. So here we're going to look at the instant replay of that pass for the lead. 2 different angles here for you guys. So there's that, and now we're going to look at the race officials. It looks like they've ruled it a aggressive driving penalty, same penalty we've seen out of Vulcan before. We saw it from him, Barvo Season 3, if you want another example of that penalty. But with that, that's going to give Roman his 2nd moto win in HRL history. That's also going to give him his 1st ever overall win. So Slaunch has got to be kicking himself. He should have just stayed at 2nd. He would have held on to the overall. But hope you guys enjoyed that crazy event. See you next time.